This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. We try each day to make sure you learn something, you're entertained, you enjoy yourself, that I learned something, and it is what it is. Here are three stories that we're following this morning. Uh, First, yesterday, the market tanked down about 1%. And the reason it's down 1% is ironically because the economy is not tanking quickly enough. And that seems, I know, ironic and ridiculous, but the rationale is because the economy is not slowing enough, the Fed won't cut rates quickly enough, and thus you'll keep money fairly tight or fairly expensive for some time. So good news is bad news. Good news, the economy's in decent shape. Bad news is the Fed won't cut rates, and the market doesn't like that. Second, as we say often, don't bet against Elon Musk. His earnings, Tesla's earnings, knocked it out of the box. It ended up about 10% yesterday. Who would have saw that coming? Always fascinating to watch. They're back to close to even year to date after a fantastic day yesterday. For everybody that hates Elon Musk, I love watching him and what he does. I find it to be absolutely fascinating. A company that is in trouble, and we watch this closely all the time, is Boeing. Boeing reported literally a $6 billion loss for the quarter. You can't do that many of those without being in real trouble. They've got union problems, they got safety problems, they got all kinds of problems. And we as the United States have problems if we don't get this sorted out because they're critical. A company is in trouble, or that the insiders already knew this, because when a company records a $6 billion loss and the stock only goes down 1% or so, that means the insiders already knew, or the market already projected this bad a loss. Again, those are the three stories that we're following today. The S&P tanks yesterday, down 1% almost. Boeing reports a $6 billion loss, doesn't get hurt that much. And finally, as always, never bet against Elon Musk. This guy, it just keeps on doing it. Tesla surprised on the upside. They rose 10% yesterday. God bless them. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. At any time you have an idea, a suggestion, a thought, a comment, a criticism, any of it we love, please text Scott Becker 773-766-5322. Thank you so much for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast.